done almost 400 meetings in the last 4 months.
And we'll get to that.
And the people of that area have asked me to look for friends. And we are open to working with anybody who means well for this country. You know?
But we're talking about a man you decampaigned vigorously in the previous election. A man who mobilized his MPs to vote against you during the impeachment.
The voting against me by ODM people is neither here nor there. The person who orchestrated the impeachment is William Ruto. That's the person we have a problem with. He deceived the ODM people the way he deceived all us in the mountain. And for the record, we, for many years, had problems with Raila Odinga because he had been demonized as somebody who is against the mountain people. In 2020, President Uhuru Kenyatta convinced us that Raila Odinga is a good man. But President William Ruto, then Deputy President, convinced us that Raila is a bad man, he's a witch doctor, he is a lot of poverty, he means bad for this country. And William Ruto admittedly was more persuasive than Uhuru Kenyatta.
But you're on record saying this.
No, I'm just saying, he persuaded us. And after he became president, he looked for Raila Odinga and he said he's a good man. So Raila Odinga has been cleaned by everybody. President Uhuru Kenyatta said he's a good man. William Ruto, who told us he's a witch doctor, who told us he's a lot of poverty, who told us he has no plan, who told us he is randarous, who told us he's planless, today is singing praises for him as the best leader, not just for Kenya, but for Africa. So we refused to vote for Raila Odinga, not because he was a very bad man, but William Ruto convinced us he's bad. Again, I must say that Raila Odinga was a victim of our community's distaste for betrayal. We felt that Uhuru Kenyatta had betrayed William Ruto by looking for Raila Odinga. So because we hate betrayal, we decided to punish Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta at the same time. But still 1.1 million people from our region voted for Raila Odinga. But now that William Ruto has betrayed us, knowing very well that he is a beneficiary of our community's distaste for betrayal, we are through with him. So Raila Odinga is there. He has not betrayed us. He has not done anything so grave, you know, that in our view makes it impossible for us to work together. But I have heard him say that he's going to consult very widely and he'll say the way forward. If he wants to be president, he can talk to us. We don't have a problem. And I also want to tell Raila Odinga and his supporters, I know I am not qualified to advise him, but from my working with President William Ruto, myself and my community, let them be very careful. I have heard them promise him to be Prime Minister. That is a lie, it's conmanship. There is no such position available in this country because it's not in the Constitution. For you to create the position of Prime Minister, it means you have to change the structure of government. You would have to go for a referendum. Today, if there is a referendum, it will be a referendum against the leadership of President William Ruto. And he will lose in the morning. So that position of Prime Minister is not available.
So who's playing who?
No, William Ruto is playing Raila Odinga. Let me tell you. There is no such position. So it's just a con. Number two, I think to be fair to Raila Odinga, I think he has risen above that position of Prime Minister. The man has wanted to be president 5 times. He now wanted to be the chairman of the African Union Commission. I think taking him back to the position of Prime Minister is a bit demeaning. In my view, the former Prime Minister has 2 options, in my view. I cannot advise him. I cannot pretend I have the capacity to advise him. He either retires in dignity or he goes for the presidency. Because there's no way you can ask for the presidency for 5 times and then you demean yourself, you want to become a prime minister. No. I think that will be very demeaning. But again, finally,
yes.
I want to ask my brother, President William Ruto. Now that you say this man is a witch doctor, he's the Lord of poverty, he is the real problem of this country. You have changed your mind, you are saying he's the best for Africa. He means well for this country. Why don't you, if you are genuine, consider to do 1 term and endorse him to be president in the next election, if you're really genuine, that this man is so good, this man can sort out this country. Okay. If really that is from the bottom of your heart, since you have done 5 years, you are going to do 5 years and you have not done very well, why don't you consider to allow this man to be president? So what I would like to say is that in my discussions with the people, okay, we have, by the way, I must tell you in those discussions, if you want me to tell you.
And we'll get to that.
We'll get there. Yes. But I'm saying we are not opposed to working with Raila Odinga.
You're willing to support?
Already we are working with Kalonzo Musyoka.
Okay.
We are working with Eugene Wamalwa. We are working with Fred Matiang'i. We are working with Eugene Wamalwa. We are working with all like-minded Kenyans. If Raila Odinga does not make a decision to destroy his legacy and support President William Ruto and decides to join the rest of Kenyans in trying to liberate our country and get it back in the right footing, and calls upon us for a discussion on the possibility of working together in whatever formation.
You're open to that?
We are open to that discussion. Okay. We are not selfish people. Okay. By the way, myself and my community are on record having supported somebody else. William Ruto, he's not one of us. Today he's calling us tribalists, despite the fact that we supported him, knowing very well he's not one of us. Okay. And because we are not tribal, we supported him, and he became president. We also are amiable and ready, if need be, to support another person, maybe it Raila Odinga, maybe it Kalonzo, maybe Wamalwa. We can support anybody, and whoever we decide to support. And take it from me today, and you'll ask me 2 years from now, whoever we decide to support, we have 2 options. We can have our own candidate from the mountain, and we are good. If we decide for whatever reason that it's better to support somebody else, whoever we decide to support, that will be the next president of the Republic of Kenya.
Okay, time will tell. You said you're open to working with like-minded individuals.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you had a meeting with former President Uhuru Kenyatta? Did you bury the hatchet? Because there's some who still point fingers at you, blaming you for the push and pull after the current Kenya Kwanza administration came to office, that perhaps the raid at his farm might have been orchestrated by Rigathi Gachagua. Have you had a meeting with the former head of state ever since you were impeached?
You know, Uhuru Kenyatta is my elder brother. I was his PA, and he's our leader as a community.
Okay.
It is inappropriate for me to discuss him in public because I'm a junior elder in the community, he's a senior elder, and discussions of elders in our community is a preserve of that community.
We're just asking if you met him. Come on. You're a truthful man.
What I'm saying is that Uhuru Kenyatta is our brother, our son, and our leader. And he's retired, and we respect his status and his retirement. But when we need advice from him as a community, it's always available.
So let me rephrase the question. What do you tell those who see former President